What's up, home team? Episode 6, Jamie's Day Off podcast, coming to you live from Lubbock, Texas. It's a beautiful Friday evening. Hopefully you're off the clock and you ain't got shit to do. So let your hair loose and listen to me. Spit this shit. No, I'm not a rapper. Let's get right into it. So if you listen to last week's episode, you knew that this week I was starting my new job and I was doing my orientation. I started my orientation Tuesday, right? So like I said, today is Friday. So I've gone through all my my computer orientation type stuff, videos, reading, a bunch of boring shit. Sure enough, that's exactly what it was. It was a whole lot of reading, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Reading makes me fucking sleepy, and I did fall asleep in that fucking chair in that office cubicle. I don't know if anybody saw me, and if they did, fuck them. That shit is boring. But I made it through, a majority of it. I got all my stuff done. I got the little quizzes and stuff done that I needed to do. I got good grades on the stuff that I was testing on. So, falling asleep or not, I still did good. And I got most of it done. Like I said, I'm pretty much 99% done. It was I was always to the last of all the fucking reading material and all that stuff. And the last one that I had to do was fucking 200. It was 205 fucking pages, man. I was like, yeah, I'm almost done. I'm gonna fucking show them that I'm done. And they said, once you get done, you can go home early if you get done early. And sure enough, I was like, all right, let me get this bitch done. And hell no, that was not the case. I had to read 205 pages and more shit that was already, most of it was discussed in the earlier stuff that I had already completed. And shit, now I got that to do on fucking Tuesday. I don't go in Monday. I got 3-day weekends now that I'll be doing orientation, or I've started at this job, and the training is I have five weeks of training, for warehouse stuff and stuff related to the truck and driving and all the routes and stuff like that I'll be doing, all the equipment I'm going to be using. So while I'm in training, I'll only be working 4 days a week. They want to keep me as close to 40 hours as possible. So I have that to look forward to. So when I go in Tuesday, I'll probably have to finish that last bit of fucking reading, and then they'll start training me on my safety, on the safety aspect of this new job. So got that to look forward to, as well as learning the other the physicalities of the new job, if you will. So I got that to look forward to. The first day that I got there, the lady that was in charge of my orientation or whatever, my onboarding process, they gave me a tour of the facility, which was when you get a tour of a new job, you probably feel like you've seen it all. And that's how I was feeling when I went into this job. I was like, you go in and you got a front office where they do the fucking clerical work and shit, and then your bathrooms and your other the more important people's offices, and then the warehouse, and that's essentially what it was. But a lot of these fucking offices are fucking nice, bro. Like, these guys, the supervisors and managers got nice offices at this place. The equipment room, the warehouse, which was the crazy thing. I was very surprised about this place because it's we deliver. It's it's essentially a delivery. The main functions of this job is I'll be delivering merchandise. Like I said, I won't get into the specifics of it, but I'll be delivering merchandise. But said merchandise in this warehouse was not full of merchandise. The warehouse, they describe it as a dry warehouse, and sure enough, that's exactly what it was. There was no product in sight. The lady was telling me that they get everything in daily, and from there they, I guess, load it into trucks, which I'll figure out that process. When I get into it next week, I'm sure. But there was nothing in the warehouse. It was spotless. It was fucking clean, man. It's like the cleanest warehouse I've ever been in, which is not too surprising, given the fact that this is a national and a worldwide organization, literally worldwide. it was a clean facility, and she was going over all the, I gotta wear a vest, and I gotta wear a fucking, a reflective vest, and then my steel toe boots and shoes, boots/shoes, and they gotta follow these procedures and stuff like that. So it was all pretty. The warehouse aspect was surprising of it, and then how serious they took it. But I guess it's not surprising, given that this is, like I said, a worldwide organization, so they take this shit serious. So the warehouse surprised me. They got big ass meeting rooms, they got conference rooms, and they got I don't even remember how they, I guess it is described as a conference room. Yeah, okay, so the meeting room is where I had my interview, and it's just a big ass room with a big fucking table with chairs all over it, and it was fancy to the fullest extent, bro. Like, it was a fancy meeting room. And then across the hallway from that was like this big conference room, and it was like like when you go to a hotel and you have you see those fancy conference rooms, man? Like, it's got a stage and it's got a bunch of seating and stuff like that. Sure enough, that's exactly what this was, but it was in the company's colors, so it's decked out pretty nice, man. It was a nice fucking conference room. And, not that, I don't know how many conference rooms you've been exposed to, and not that anybody gives a fuck about a conference room, but this was a nice fucking conference room. So like I said, that was the tour facility. The other thing that was surprising as well was how nice the fucking break room was. Like, it was full of, not full of, it was a pretty good sized break room compared to what I'm used to. So it was a good size, tables, chairs everywhere, sofas, recliners, nice art and stuff on the wall, company related art on the wall, neon signs, vending machines, fountain drinks dispenser, refrigerator coolers, coffee machines, sinks, refrigerators for storage type shit. It was a very nice room, but the thing that was really cool was that the merchandise this company delivers was also in this break room, and everything was fucking free, bro. So you in there getting free drinks out the ass, bro, which is good and bad, because there's a lot of sugary shit. So hopefully cats aren't getting carried away with all the free stuff, because you could end up with diabetes real fast. I'll just leave it at that. They gave me a breakdown of the pay, or they told me what my pay was, the bonuses, the perks, the benefits, all that stuff, which was fucking, it was refreshing, and it was great to hear, coming from the job that I currently have, which I've already put in my 2 weeks at my current job. But as opposed, compared to that and all the other places that I've been, the pay, the perks, the benefits, and the bonuses, all that stuff, it was awesome to hear, because it's a huge step up compared to what I'm used to. So that was all in my first week. So just getting me introduced and welcomed and stuff. And sure enough, too, the other cool thing I like about this job so far, I've only, like I said, this is my first week of orientation. I haven't even begun doing any fucking work. It's appreciation week for the drivers. And sure enough, man, they had, the first day that I was there, they had like free, like a whole bunch of different types of snacks, Twinkies, cupcakes, fruits, fucking cookies, all kinds of fucking pastries and shit like that. Simple stuff. There's nothing over the top, but you get the drivers, when they come in and they coming in and out of the office, they can just grab what they want type shit. The next day they gave the drivers sweatshirts, hats, coolers, just giving away all kinds of stuff. And sure enough, like I said, since I haven't even begun doing any work there, I was included in that, it was pretty cool, man. So I got a lot of free shit this week. A lot of free shit. That is really cool. It's really refreshing. It's I'm enjoying it so far. Aside from all the reading, it's been a blast this week, being introduced to this part. And she said, the lady said, welcome to the team, and she's trying to make you feel welcome and shit. And sure enough, I feel welcome. I'm glad to be there. Happy to be there. I'm looking forward to the next steps. The next, steps in the training process and learning the job a lot more. And then, after my 5 weeks, actually getting in there and doing the job. So, I'm looking forward to it, and I feel like this is going to work out. On my end, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to put the work in, and I'm going to give it my best, like I always do. And I'm going to make it do what it does, baby. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to mention that, like I said, I do call myself Jamie the Conqueror. Nobody's called me that yet. I call myself that, and it's like I said, it's all about who I was and who I'm working to become. And sure enough, this CDL step, like I mentioned in the last episode, is part of my overall mission, and this CDL job is a part of that plan. It's going to help me further this plan along. So, like I said, that's a goal that I've reached, I've conquered, if you will. Like I said, which was the plan all along. So, which will tie into my topic at the end of this episode. I'm going to get all the meat and potatoes out of the way, and then I'll close with some motivation. So, stay tuned for that. Let's see. Yesterday was the first day of the South Plains Fair here in Lubbock. So if you were there and you saw me, you didn't say hi, you can suck a dick. But I was there. I saw a lot of familiar faces from my current job, not my new job, but my current job. And I saw some familiar faces. They were cool. They said hi and stuff like that. So it was good to see them after I hadn't seen them all week. After I'm normally accustomed to seeing them all week, all day, every day, throughout the week. So that was cool. Shout out to them. They know who they are. Like I said, I went to the fair yesterday, and I hadn't been there in years, probably since I was a teenager. I think the last time I did it, I was living in Lamesa, and I remember it too because I had just gotten in trouble I was in high school. I had just gotten in trouble at school, and I was at this alternative school. They called it DEAP. I don't even remember what it stood for. But here in Lubbock, it's the equivalent of the STAR, the project. I believe that's what it's called. Who knows? I haven't been a kid in a long ass fucking time. But it was an alternative school where bad kids go after you get in trouble from regular school so much. They send you to this alternative school. Sure enough, that's where I was at. And at the time, I remember I was sneaking out a lot, drinking and smoking and doing little mischievous stuff at night. And I remember too, I snuck out that night, and we ended up going to, like I said, I was living in Lamesa, so I snuck out that night, still doing hood rat shit. And I remember I ended up going to Lubbock. I came to Lubbock at the time, with some friends of mine and stuff like that. We came to Lubbock and we went to the fair, and I bought some airbrush sweaters, bought food, all kinds of stuff you do at the fair. And I remember I snuck out. I was a bad kid, like I said, and snuck out. And my dad didn't know I had come to Lubbock. If he would have found out, man, if I would have got in trouble here in Lubbock or something like that, and I had to call him and tell him that I had got in trouble here in Lubbock, he'd have had my ass, bro. Pause. And it wouldn't have been pretty. So that was the last time that I came when I was a teenager in my late teens. I hadn't been in many years. It's gotten expensive over the years, so that's one of the reasons why I hadn't been. It's been many moons, and the only reason I went last night was just because it was the free night. It was free entry, and it was dollar rides, and it was as you can imagine with those two things, it was full as fuck. Like the lines were long. It was outrageous, man. Like to get on the rides, especially. Like I was gonna get on the Ferris wheel because I was taking pictures, for my social medias and stuff like that. But I was gonna get on top. I was gonna get on the Ferris wheel. I was gonna ride that bitch, and I was gonna make video from the top and take pictures from the top and stuff like that. But man, when I tell you the lines were long, like it was like Six Flags. Like I've never been to Six Flags, but I've seen videos and pictures of the lines, and you hear all the horror stories about how long the lines are. And sure enough, that's exactly what I feel like it was. That's how it was last night. These lines were outrageously long, so I didn't get to do the Ferris wheel thing. I got to, I got my foods of choice, what my main objectives for the fair, aside from taking pictures and videos for my social media, my YouTubes and stuff like that. I was gonna get something. I was gonna get some food, and I ended up settling on something plain. I got a foot-long corn dog. You can never go wrong with a foot-long corn dog from the fair. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, I got that. And then my other, which was a more main objective than the food selection, was the fried Oreos. And I went, found the fucking fried Oreos, got those, and tried to see what else I can get into. Sure enough, I got, it was a pretty pleasant evening. I enjoy. And I'll start by saying this: like I'm a man of simple taste. You know what I'm saying? I'm easy to please. I like to people watch, not in like a freak way, like a freaky way, like a creeper kind of way, but like I enjoy just sitting back and watching the people go by and just wondering what you know what and who these people are, and what they do, and just seeing the enjoyment on people's faces, and the little kids, because I remember being that age going to the fair. And I enjoy just doing that, and it was enjoyable in that aspect, and as well as all the other things that I got to enjoy. Like I said, the food. I ended up getting I wanted to get some stuff for my kids and my wife because they didn't go last night. I just went to make the videos and take the pictures. So I got my wife something, and then I got my kids a goldfish, which oddly enough, here at home I have a bunch of cats, and I got my kids this goldfish from when you play the little what are they called, the vendors, but with the games and stuff like that. You're supposed to throw the ball into these fish bowls, and you win a fish. And I bypassed that like a cheapskate, and because I probably wouldn't have won if I would have played the game itself. But you can bypass it, and you can pay to just buy a fish, and you can buy a little fish tank for it. And so I just did that, right? And then everything was good and fine. I came home, we showed the kids. The kids were fucking happy as a fuck, and they were happy to get the fish. They were really actually very surprisingly happy. About getting a pet fish. It was the cutest thing, man. It's the craziest. And come to find out today, while my wife was asleep, the cats knocked the fish off the counter and they fucking ate his monkey ass. So, R.I.P. to the goldfish. And these sons of bitches, these cats. But can you blame them though? You know what I'm saying? It's instinctual, but it is still surprising nonetheless, because I've never had that actually happen. I've never had a fish in the house for my cats for their instincts to kick in and them actually do that and then eat the motherfucker. And I've got how many cats I got in this bitch? 1, 2, 3. I got 5 cats in my house. 3 are mine and 2 are my brother's. And who knows which one it was. We kind of got an idea of who it might have been, but we don't know for sure. But yeah, they sure enough they ate the cat. I mean, they ate the fucking fish. I've been saying that all day, getting them back mixed up. So. That was sad. I gotta give my kids another fish. I got my wife a necklace with an engraving on it. And that is, my kids' birth dates and stuff on it. So just trying to do my part and get them something while I'm out here at the fair, since they didn't go. But I didn't ride any rides, like I said, because I don't really trust carnival rides. I've seen Final Destination, and that shit freaks me out. I saw one. I don't know. It might have been Final Destination, or it might have been like some episode of like Law and Order or something like that. But there was a roller coaster, and it was at the very top doing the turnaround, and it broke the fucking track, and it fell off, and they died in the parking lot. So I don't ride fair. I don't ride carnival rides. So I was gonna swallow that. No homo. And I was going to do the fucking Ferris wheel, like I said, just to get some good views and stuff. But like I said, the lines were long, so I didn't do that. It was nice to see nonetheless. I mean, everything else that was there, the lights and just the atmosphere in general was it was pretty cool. So that was last night. Like I said, I went to the fair. What else? I believe that's it for today and yesterday. Those are the main things I wanted to get to. But we'll go ahead and get into last week. Last week at my old job, I put in 47 hours, 47 and a half hours at my job. I trained 2 new trainees, trying to get them trained so they can fill in for my departure. You know what I'm saying? Good guys. Hopefully they can withstand the job, because it's not easy. It's not hard, but it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It gets busy and it gets frustrating. So shout out to those new guys. Hopefully they work out well. So Saturday was, and we'll get into this as well, it was the Tech game. It was Texas Tech versus North Texas. And sure enough, man, after the last loss that we had, we got our ass whooped by Washington State. We come back and we win a game here at home, and we won it big. It was 66-21. Good win here at home. Like I said, Texas Tech total yards 586, passing yards 354, rushing yards 234, 4 pass touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns with only 1 interception. So, on the Tech side, they did very well moving the ball. regardless whether it was in the air or on the ground. So shout out to Texas Tech. North Texas total yards 353, passing 218, rushing 135. And to note that they only allowed 135. Last week they allowed 300 fucking rushing yards. So they fixed that problem on the ground. And I don't really know much about either team, this week or last week. In terms of what they're good at or where they fit into their conference, how good they are. But North Texas was undefeated. They were 2-0 going into this game. So I just figured, that there would be a pretty formidable team. I believe that's the right word, formidable. But we held them to 135 yards rushing, which was like I said, that was our biggest problem last week, as well as the turnovers. So we were able to cut all that literally in half. As it pertains to the rushing yards and the turnovers. They still allowed 200 passing yards, which is not nothing to be concerned or disappointed with, because teams gonna especially in college, they're gonna pass. They're good at passes and passing in general. So those yards are to be expected. But when you run and you're able to fucking run around and run through these defenses, that's the cause for concern. Sure enough, that wasn't the case this week. So a couple of key points. Tech ties the school record with 52 points in the first half. Now think about that. 52 fucking points in the first half alone, and they scored a total of 66. So they tie the school record with 52 points, which is probably going to be hard to break, because 52 points and a half is a lot of fucking points. So that was a fucking fantastic keynote there. Tech scored 21 points in the first minute to open the game. They had a passing touchdown. They had an interception return, a pick six, and they had a rushing touchdown, all within the first minute. So another fucking, fantastic attribute and accomplishment on the Tech side. So next game against Arizona State, 3-0, and from what I saw, they're not like the best team, but they're not the worst team. They're better than good as well. So 3-0. Can they keep the momentum going? And I will say this too before I move on, that Tech, they have no problem moving the ball. These past few games, these past 3 games, they have no problem getting the ball down the field. But the turnovers, especially last week, was what really put us down. And then the first game, we lost by 1 point on the 2-point conversion. That's what killed us on that. So it's just it's just if they show up, you know what I'm saying? If they show up and they show out, Tech's, they got a good chance to win. But nonetheless, 3-0 Arizona State this Saturday here at home. It should be a good game, and hopefully they put that away too, because in the game, as Texas Tech playing Saturday as it pertains to my day job. This past Saturday when they played, like, it was dead. Like, while the game was on at my job, it was dead as fuck. And then after the win, sure enough, when people want to celebrate, and I guess just go out in general, because it was a nice Saturday. Sure enough, they came in where I work, and it was full to the max. Like, it was crazy how busy it got. In contrast to fucking how dead it was. So it turned out to be a fucking busy Saturday because of that Tech win. So that might be the case again Saturday. We'll find out, and I'll let you know. I'll get back to that. And then that was Saturday. We get into Sunday, the pinche Cowboys. This was probably the highlight of my Sunday. And you call me a hater, call me whatever you want, but the pinche Cowboys, they lost to the Saints. Now, I don't know if that's because, and like I said in the first, I don't know, it's like the first or second episode where I give the Cowboys their due, man. They were better than good team. They're better than decent. You know what I'm saying? So for them to lose to the Saints, I don't know if that's, it might be too early to tell still, because we're only two weeks in. But the Cowboys lost to the Saints, and I don't know if that's because the Cowboys suck, or if that's because if they choked and they sucked it up on Sunday, or because the Saints are really on fire right now, and we'll get into that. The Cowboys total yards 353 yards, passing 285, rushing only 68 yards with 2 interceptions. The Saints total yards 432, passing 242, rushing 190 with 1 interception. So they were able to they moved the ball really well. The Saints did, passing and rushing, just like Tech did. Almost identical stats. I take that back. The Saints threw for 100 less yards. Yeah, about 100 less yards. So, Dak Prescott, 27 for 39, 293 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Those are not bad numbers. 293 yards is not easy to do in the NFL. So he did pretty good. He just had 2 interceptions, and they were they were detrimental to their overall what they were trying to accomplish in terms of winning. So 2 interceptions, and the thing that really stood out to me was the rushing yards. They were only able to put up 68, and most of those came by way of Dak. Rushing for scrambling and stuff like that, because Ezekiel Elliott, he's a re-sign. Only had 6 carries for 16 fucking yards. I bet you the Cowboys are really I bet you they're not happy with re-signing this cocksucker and then letting I believe his name was Pollard go, because he was a bad motherfucker, and he's doing actually pretty well where he's at. I think he's in Tennessee. But to bring back in Zeke and only get 16 yards out of this motherfucker for the whole game, that sucks. Fat sack, man. Fucking Zeke Elliott. A handful of big passes, 1 for a touchdown by Dak, and to I believe CD Lamb, who also just got a contract extension for a touchdown. Other than that, man, they couldn't capitalize on anything, man. Through the air and then on top of that running, they didn't get much done. Again, Derek Carr had another fucking big game. 11 for 16, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rush touchdown, and only 1 interception. 243 yards and 2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Guy got 3 touchdowns, bro, and he only threw the ball threw it 16 times. That's not a lot, and he still made 200. He still got 243 yards. Alvin Kamara, 20 carries, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 receptions for 65 yards and another touchdown. So Kamara also got it done out there, man. 115 yards rushing, 65 yards catching, and that was on 2 receptions. So a total of 4 touchdowns by Kamara, the running back out there at the Saints. They're looking like the old Saints, man, the Drew Brees era Saints. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge compliment, because Derek Carr, he struggled the past couple of seasons. For him to come into the Saints and just have this resurgence, it's pretty fucking cool to see, man. And they, like I said, they manhandled the Cowboys. So the Cowboy fans cry about it. They both got tough games this Sunday, and it's going to be interesting to watch because, like I said, the Saints are on fire, and the Cowboys are a decent team. But they both got tough tasks this Sunday. The Cowboys versus the Ravens, and the Saints versus Eagles. So more so, I'm looking forward to see the Saints. Not that I'm a Saints fan or a Derek Carr fan, but it is good to see. I love good football nonetheless. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep the momentum moving. So keep up the momentum and keep it going. So Sunday, bench Cowboys and fucking Saints. Next up, and it breaks my heart, but it's more heartbreak in Denver. They lost to the Steelers 13-6 in a fucking doo-doo ass game. Total yards, 295 yards, passing 231, rushing 64. We look like the fucking Cowboys last week, bro. Minus how many fucking points they put up. The Cowboys were able to put up as opposed to the Broncos. 6 fucking points. That's terrible, man. That's doo-doo. That's dog shit. Bo Nix, 20 for 35, 246 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 4 carries for 25 yards. Like I said, another bad week, held to fucking 6 points. But I guess the silver lining here is that Bo Nix, he actually threw for more yards this week against a tough Steelers defense. He threw for over 200 yards, and what I'm hoping is that he can build on that going into this next week, and build on the yards and then cut down on the interceptions, because like I said, this was a shit game, so it's looking like shit for the rookie. And I guess we do have to cut him some slack, because like I just said, he is a rookie. So like I said last week, the stories that you hear, the fucking NFL and college football are night and day different. So we try to cut him some fucking slack, Bo Nix that is, but hopefully he can get it on track and this team can come together and start winning some games, because it's breaking my fucking corazon. Next up, Sunday standouts. We got Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets as a whole. It's crazy to see because the first game was not that good. I wouldn't say it was a bad game, but it was not that good. But they come back this week. Rodgers has 2 touchdowns.
Disrespect me, you are.
God damn, I should have put that bitch on silent. That was my notifications. But like you said, don't ever disrespect me. New York Jets, Rodgers, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. The running backs that they got out there in New York, the Jets, Allen and Hall got 3 combined total touchdowns. And unknown running backs at that. Like before this season, you didn't hear about these guys. You didn't hear anything out of New York. Period. Especially last year, because this is not Aaron Rodgers' first year in New York. So for them to come out and start having the success, because Rodgers is back from injury and he's looking like the old Aaron Rodgers. It's crazy to see, man. The comparison that I'll make is with Tampa Bay and Kansas City, right? More so Tampa Bay, because you didn't hear any. Tampa Bay was not. They were not a standout team at all until Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, right? And when Tom Brady got to Tampa Bay, it was like he made stars out of everybody around him, right? Like everybody started contributing and being the best that they could be, because they knew what they got in a star quarterback, right? And the star quarterback, if you will. And that speaks to the power of the star quarterback, right? And same thing with Kansas City. Not that Patrick Mahomes was a star before he started in Kansas City. Like he wasn't this breakout big star. But he eventually became one, and that elevated everybody else around him. As you can see, like the fuck is that guy's name? And he plays for Miami. Tyreek Hill. He was unknown until Mahomes was able to get the football to him in the long passes or the mid-range passes, and he was able to break out and show how fast he was, because that motherfucker is fast. I'll tell you what, he makes fast players look not fast. That's a quote from Longest Yard. If you ever seen that, if you haven't, suck a dick. But he brings up those around him, and he makes them look good. These star quarterbacks. So that's the comparison that I'll make with Aaron Rodgers now that he's in New York, because they're starting to show out now. And like I said, today is Friday, and yesterday was Thursday night football. So the Jets also played the Patriots. So the game that I'm talking about right now is that they played Sunday, right? So they had the Thursday night game. And sure enough, Aaron Rodgers has another fucking good game to build on. Coming out of last week, 27 for 35, 281 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And what's also surprising is that he rushed for he made scrambles for 18 yards, which is when you think about it, because of his Achilles injury. The fact that he's actually trusting his fucking feet to move him around and get him some yards safely. That's good. 18 yards for Aaron Rodgers. So 2 solid fucking games back to back. The running backs again, they put up each 50 yards for another touchdown on the ground. The fucking Jets are starting to build, man. They're looking like a good fucking team out there. Only one loss, and that was the season opener. But you can't judge these teams on the opening game, because they're settling into a new season. But now that they're 3 games in, the Jets are starting to look good, so they're a standout for Sunday. Another team, the fucking 2-0 Vikings. Sam Darnold out there in Minnesota, 17 for 26, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception, 5 carries for 32 yards. And the big thing for Sam Darnold is the fucking 97-yard touchdown play. Like, I think the fucking pass was for like 40-something yards, and Justin Jefferson ran the rest of the way. So another 40 yards for 97 total yard touchdown. So that the Vikings are actually looking very good, 2-0. Baker Mayfield, another undefeated team. It's only they're 2-0 going into this next week against the Bucks. I mean, against the Bucks. Baker Mayfield is the fucking Bucks. 2-0 against a top previous. Oh, excuse me. Oh, fucking dick. No homo. 2-0 Bucks against the top Super Bowl contender previously, the Lions. Baker Mayfield 12 for 19, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 carries, 35 yards, and another rushing touchdown. So 2 touchdowns for Baker Mayfield. Brings the Bucks to a 2-0 start to the season. So they're looking good. Baker Mayfield, man, and I will say, he had some huge. He only had 5 carries for 34 yards. So 34 yards is not a lot, but when I say he made those motherfucking rushing yards count, man, you better believe it. He had a huge rush on a 3rd and 2, but he, on the opposite side of the field, a 3rd and 2, and he gets the under pressure. He gets the first down. He scrambles. He runs for like over 10 yards. It was like a 10-yard gain on a 3rd and 2. But it's key to put points on the board, touchdowns instead of field goal points. So he scrambles, gets the fucking first down, gets him into the red zone, and then the very next fucking play is like the same play over. In the way that it broke down, the play broke down, and he was able to scramble for another fucking touchdown. So 2 back-to-back plays, 2 rushes. One for the second rush for the touchdown. So Baker Mayfield looking good out there in Tampa Bay, and the Bucks at 2-0. Looking forward to seeing if they can, if it's just, if it's not just a fluke, and if they can continue the momentum. Same as the Vikings, and same as the Jets, and the Saints. So I'm looking forward to seeing these teams play this next weekend. Like I said, I'm not a fan of them per se, and them or the team, but I do love good football. So that'll be interesting to see. Arizona Cardinals, I'm telling you what, boy, they had a fucking lights out fucking game. Kyler Murray, 17 for 21, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 carries for 59 yards. A lot of big fucking passes by Kyler Murray, and a handful of them to Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, man, I'll tell you what, 4 receptions, 130 yards, 2 other touchdowns for Marvin Harrison Jr. James Conner, 21 carries, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. And the defense holds the former Super Bowl champs, the 2022 Super Bowl champs, the Los Angeles Rams, hold them to 10 fucking points, bro. Matt Stafford is no fucking slouch. So to hold them to 10 points, under 245 yards, they caused the fumble, and got 5 sacks on the Rams, man. So overall, the Cardinals, as a whole, they look fucking lights out Sunday. So they're probably the biggest standout in terms of who they played and what they were able to fucking put out Sunday. Again, Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marvin Harrison, and the defense, boy, they played fucking lights out as a unit. So interesting to see what they do, how they play this next weekend as well. Last but not least, we already went over it. Derek Carr, another good game. That's 2 in a row. All these teams going into next Sunday, I'm looking forward to. So stay tuned for that next week, or this coming week, this Sunday. My next episode covering this next Sunday. The jerk offs for this week. This week's jerk off is, and I know we've all got experience with this. It drives me up the fucking wall. Last minute lane changers, right? So where on my commute to work, at my current job, which is on the opposite side of town, it's on the west side, and I'm coming from central Lubbock, and I'm going to the west side. So if you've ever gone southbound on University, and then you're trying to get into the onto the access road that gets you onto the loop that takes on the south loop going west, the lane that you're supposed to get into to get onto the on-ramp for the loop, man, like it's always a long fucking line. It builds up so people can get onto the loop from where I'm coming from, and it's probably like that on any other merging lane onto the interstate, but the fucking loop. So it gets real long, and what chaps my ass, bro, is that I'm now, not even now, but I've always been aware of the fact that I need to fucking get into that lane so I can get onto the fucking loop, so I can get to my fucking destination sooner rather than later, right? Now, if I'm aware of that, and most of us are, what about these fucking jerk-offs who decide that they're gonna wait until the literal last second to get into the fucking lane to get in, to merge into the lane, to get onto the loop, right? So why would the fuck do you think it's okay to do that? And try to, and literally, like, as the line is moving, as traffic is moving, they're gonna try to inch their way in. Like, bitch, I'll fucking hit you. You try to get into this lane last minute, motherfucker. You knew you're supposed to fucking merge a long time ago, right? So you're a jerk off. You think that I'm supposed to let you over, right? To think that I have to let you over. You can fuck yourself, bro. You're gonna be late. I'm not gonna be late. I'm not gonna let you over either. You knew you're supposed to get in this fucking lane a long time ago. Go fuck yourself. Suck a dick, jerk off. Let me calm down because my blood pressure is rising because I think about this shit. It drives me up the wall. It never fails, man. It never fucking fails. There's always that one guy or one girl. When I say guy or girl, I mean man or woman, because they could be old or young, right? But they decide that they think it's cool to fucking merge last, and they're entitled to get into my lane. No, go fuck yourself. You're a jerk off. That's my jerk off for this week. Now, the topic that I want to get into, let's just transition because, like I said, that got me hot. It gets me hot because I know it's going to happen tomorrow on my way to work. But the fucking topic for this week is it's about fate and how the universe works, right? So stay with me because I'm going to get a little hippy dippy on this subject, but it's been proven time and time again in my life. And just again recently, right? So what I mean by fate and how the universe works, like I said, I have a mission, an overall mission, and then I have goals to reach that mission. And sure enough, like I said, getting my CDL and then getting my CDL job now is part of the plan and the mission. And it's been 2 years in the making, right? It's been 2 years in the making that I've been trying to get this CDL job, right? Things just didn't line up, and I wasn't able to get this job until now, 2 years later, right? So, sometimes you get discouraged because these things don't happen as soon as you want them to, but, you know, when they happen and they happen to pay off, it's like everything aligns and it was meant to be, right? Because I heard this quote, and it's that fate meets you halfway, right? So meaning if you put in the work and not even for a short amount of time, like you got to put in the work constantly and consistently over a period of time, and then I think the universe realizes that you're serious about what you're trying to achieve, and it finally makes it happen for you, right? So it meets you halfway. And sure enough, like I said, that's what happened to me because it took me 2 years to get this job, for everything to line up for me to get this job, right? And now that it's happened, now I'm on to the next series of goals and objectives that I have to accomplish in order to make my mission an overall success, right? So it's and let me get this. Sorry about the mic. Goddamn. I didn't have this note prepared, but now that I do, I had to get it real quick. So I'll edit that out so where it seems smoother. But it's you know, my CDL job is a part of my mission, and it helps further along my plans and it helps further my plans along with the increase in earnings, right? So money is a big part of my plan. It's not the whole part of it, but it's a big part of it, right? It'll help out. So how it helped is that, or how fate met me halfway is that, you know, my current situation, you know, whatever yours is, you have to take your current situation and you got to do it to the best of your abilities, right? While still trying to achieve the next objective. That's what I've been doing this whole 2 years prior to getting this CDL job, right? And I didn't give up on trying to make this objective a reality. And over those 2 years, the universe realized, I believe that the universe realized that that's what I was trying to accomplish, and sure enough that I was putting in the work and I was serious about it. So it met me halfway, and it finally gave me the break that I needed in terms of getting hired for the CDL job. Now I got to make this part of the journey happen to make the next part of my journey happen, right? So it's a series of steps, right? But you got to do this part, whatever part you're in, you got to do it to the best of your abilities while still trying to get the achievement that you want next to get to the next one. It's like a domino effect, right? So my advice to you is keep working hard, keep your eyes on the prize, and I promise you, man, like fate's gonna meet you halfway. That's the quote that I heard. Fate will meet you halfway, but you got to be willing to put in the work. And if you know me in my current job or the job that I have while I'm making this, you know that I work hard every day. Like I'm one of the hardest workers. I get complimented on my hard work by, my coworkers, by my managers, and even more so by our regular customers that we have. They see me day in and day out putting in the same hard work every day. Like I only have one speed, and that's fast and forward. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always on it. I'm always doing my shit, and it shows because like I said, in my transition to this new job, departing from my old job, I was they brought in new people for me to train, like soon as fuck, so I can get them trained, because they know that I'm gonna train them to try to be as thorough as I am. But you can't teach work ethic, and I don't know that they realize that. Maybe they do, but it's just what we have. It's just what they have to work with, and they just want to, that's the best they can do. You got to make the best out of a sticky situation. You know what I'm saying? And it just shows in the hard work, shows in how much they depend on me to get these people trained as best as possible to what I do, to get them ready for when I leave. Because I believe, and I really do believe this, my shoes are going to be hard to fill, because I've made it a point, a personal point to myself to stand out in this job. The people that I work with, they're all good people, you know what I'm saying? But the work ethic on a lot of these cats is not there, and it's been easy to stand out, and more so, I've just got this natural work ethic that I've developed throughout my late teens, all throughout my 20s. I've developed it, and into my early 30s, where I'm at now. I've just got this natural work ethic. I had this intrinsic motivation. Doing a good job is motivation enough for me to actually do that good job. Like, I have to be satisfied with it myself. And I know I'm only satisfied when I do a good job, and the way that it's supposed to be done, and even more so, like when I do go above and beyond to do my job. It pays off, and it shows in the appreciation that my superiors and my the customers, the regular people that we have in the job that I have, the establishment, the people that come in, when they notice it as well. So I know I've done a good job, and my shoes are going to be hard to fill, but nonetheless, it is on to the next objective in this CDL job, and I wish these guys nothing but the best, and I mean that in all sincerity. If you guys ever decide to listen to this, looking back on what the guy that you used to work with and myself, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? I got a huge opportunity working at this job because of my superiors. They recognized that I'm a hard worker, and they gave me the opportunity to become a trainer and hopefully try to train and develop some of these guys to be exactly what I am, and that's a hard worker. But again, like I said, that's easier said than done, because a lot of work ethic, the work ethic is not, it's not there these days. And especially in the line of work that I do, the job that I'm at, the bar/restaurant, there's a lot of women that work there, so guys aren't necessarily worried about working hard. Everybody wants to be the cool guy, so they're more worried about how they look to these girls and spitting game and doing all that. And I get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to flex the machismo and the swag and the demeanor and that type of stuff around these girls, but it is a job nonetheless, and that's what I put first and foremost anytime that I clock in at this place. So I know they recognize that, and again, like I said, I wish them nothing but the best. So that's my piece on fate meeting you halfway. Just put the work in and continue to do it, even when it doesn't look like it's going to pay off. It will pay off, and I've got firsthand experience in that. So don't give up. Fate's going to meet you halfway. And with that being said, that last bit of advice, do with it what you will. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm trying to keep these bitches under an hour because it's hard to convert from my laptop to my phone. I got to figure out that process and make it easier. But I'm trying to keep these bitches under an hour. So I'm going to wrap up. That's it for this week. I look forward to talking to you again next week here on the Jamie's Day Off podcast, letting you know some more updates on my journey if you're interested in that. If not, we'll talk some more sports. We'll just check in with each other. So with that being said, have a great week, another good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week. Peace.